Quarterfinals Knockout Edition. I am your caster, Hodohori, and tonight's game features Powered by Bees and the Sombruhs. It is Team 3 and Team 4 from the North American side of the Scrub Cup. Joining me as my color commentator and co-commentator, it is Pulse. And Pulse, we're in the quarterfinal stages of the Scrub Cup. Teams have fought tooth and nail to get here, and it's win or go home. And these teams have fought 3-2 each to get to this round. I think both teams are very, very excited to be on the live stream tonight.
Absolutely. And like we're in the part of Scrub Cup where it's like all completely do or die. All these teams are winning for the gold right now. And, you know, we may be starting a little late, but that's because we had to wait for Overwatch League. And now the real show starts. This is what it's all the money is for. You know, we have, like you said, the two teams, NA4, Sombruhs, and NA3, powered by Bees. Both of these teams have pretty good records so far. Sombruhs going 4-0 and powered by Bees going 3-1. So looking at the rosters, why don't we start with the undefeated team?
Yeah, well, let's double check the brackets here. Let's let people know how they got here. So they did get here very, very difficult. Both teams actually had to win their round one matches 3-2. The Sombruhs defeating COVID-19 team 3-2, and Powered by Bees defeated Catch 22 3-2. We're just going to double check here real quick. Powered by Bees are 3-1, and it is the undefeated Sombruhs at 4-0. So we'll start off with their roster. The Sombruhs, coached by Jan Trollo, also known as Passion Fruit on Battle.net. It'll be Peachy plays for Cheese as your tank lineup, J Repa, and Kachiga as your DPS, and for your support lineups, it will be Battle Barbie and Envy. Powered by Bees, Pulse, why don't you take them?
Sure. Going down their lineup right now, they have Krogarn, FedEx, Tenacious, Blue Jay, Battle Barbie, and Envy, like you said, with their coach in Battle.net being Nanomi. So,
yeah, absolutely. So it looks like both teams here have taken care of their bans themselves. Whiskey Tango is our lobby host here, so please give him some love. It is a job that is unfortunately not very popular with a lot of people. Sometimes they do and put in the work, and we want to make sure we appreciate all of our lobby hosts here in the Scrub Cup. Both teams, I think, just need to fix what is going on. The Sombruhs here. Sombruhs and Powered by Bees just want to make sure that the team names are correct. I think that is, they are correct now. It looks like both teams going into King's Row, and that will be the first map that they will go to. I'm not sure. It looks like the bans have all gone in. Is it King's that's left? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So King's Row will be your first match up here on this late night. Actually, it's not really late night. If you're on the West Coast, it's only 6:44. Medium night, but it will be the first game that is streamed today because of the contract with the Overwatch League. We could not go live until the Overwatch League was officially over, and it is now over now. And the Scrub Cup, you're starting right now. So both teams loading into King's Row. Pulse, give us a little heads up here. King's Row, what are we going to see?
That's the glory of King's Row, right? Like, people like it so much because you can run like double shot Bastion, you can run Ryan Zarya. I was about to say Ryan Orisa like it was the old school meta, but I meant Ryan Zarya. But like King's Row is, for a while everyone thought it was always like the Ryan Zarya map, like especially before Overwatch League started, everyone was like, yes, we're going to need a Zarya specialist exclusively for King's Row. But it got to a point where people were like, now let's just run dive here. So it's really been tried and true on pretty much every meta, and pretty much whatever you want to run is viable on King's Row, which is super nice. Like, you've seen Sim Bastion, you've seen Reaper Doomfist, you've seen like Tracer Genji. So anything works, anything goes. And it's probably why so many people like this map. Like, I don't think we've gone a match in Scrub Cup, at least not one that we've casted, where we haven't seen King's Row pop up once. And Eichenwald's kind of also another favorite in there, but like, I don't think I've ever seen a series go without making its way into the streets of London at least once.
Yeah, exactly. So both teams are loaded in here. So it will be the Sombruhs in blue, and Powered by Bees here will be in red, and they will be on offense first. And you did mention the Ryan Zarya, and that's what we see on the offense here from Powered by Bees. for the Sombras here, they're going to be going with a Diva on the defense here. Peachy will be in the mechanical robot with the little Korean girl going in and defending. So here we go, the start of the quarterfinals, and here it is. It will be the Sombras empowered by Bees as they approach into the choke, and it'll be Krogarn here holding up the shield and trying to see if he can make some space as they go forward. They're going to go on the right side of the statue. They've got a good wall there from the May, from Tenacious, who was able to sort of push them off. It looks like the members of Powered by Bees are going to actually try to push in and see if they can force the members of the Sombras back into a corner. Jay Repa getting a good kill here on Blue Jay. So now Jay Repa, again, that Junkrat just going ham, gets 3 big kills here, and is going to push that offense back into spawn, and they're going to need to reset.
Yeah, and I absolutely love the way that we see the Sombras playing this. Like, we've definitely casted quite a few matches where you see the teams kind of split off, where you see like the Junkrats go for these crazy plays, but right now both these teams are very tame in how they're pushing. They're completely behind the Rhine Shield. They're very grouped up, and both of these teams are highly coordinated in their attacks. I do think right now that Ashe is going to be causing a little bit of trouble for the offense, just because it's the one hero in their team that doesn't really want to brawl, and it's going to be a hard time getting an Ashe in, but if they can keep landing dynamites, then that might be their opening.
Yeah, it might be indeed, and now it's going to be one of those where the Rhines are charging each other. Plays for Cheese, actually gets a great charge and takes out Tenacious, and that opens up the offense here, as they will not have a wall to help them sort of force themselves in. Token getting Blue Jay also down, and will also force the members back. Jay Repa getting a kill on the way out, and that is the end of the offense right there. 2:25 on the clock, and they maybe have to start thinking about maybe changing it up a little, or not, because now it looks like Battle Barbie is going to be coming out here on the it'll be on the I am blanking. On the Moira still, yeah. So
they're still running this Ashe, and they are playing into a tire, so they need to be careful, or the Ashe and the May are going to have to be good and take down that Junkrat tire early. Otherwise, it's going to be a very quick fight loss here.
Oh yeah, you hear the tire come out. That comes a shield immediately pops out to protect the team as the tire runs around. It still gets to you as they follow up with a shatter also, as that is going to take down Battle Barbie with a good fire strike. And the coordination here from the Sombras has been epic on the defense. They did not lose a single player as they used their ults very, very well. And now we're down to about 135 here, and the offense here from Powered by Bees have to think of an idea of how to get anything on the point.
They are going to have to be a little bit careful too, because there is a Reaper ultimate online, and we're in the range of players where that can be very devastating if you don't address it fast enough, and especially with that Moira Coalescence keeping him alive. And you already see the Reaper setting up for a flank right now, but they can't invest too heavily.
Yeah, the Reaper comes in on the flank, in the back, is still able to finish Fedex, and Fedex had that ult, so that is huge. Krogarn, though, getting the Reaper in the back, so it's 5v5. Here comes the May Freeze, and a Coalescence coming down. They're trying to protect plays for Cheese here, but they're not going to be able to. He gets caught in the middle and eliminated, so now here is the opening that the members for Powered by Bees were looking for, as a bomb hits into the back. That Diva Peachy trying to just basically get back into spawn, so they're now playing for the stall here. Offense, huge advantage onto the point as Blue Jay takes down Jay Repa, and now it looks like Sombras here are going to be trying to struggle to keep this point, as kills going the ways of the Bees, as the Bees are pushing in. Plays for Cheese trying to just hold on. Maybe he can get a couple lucky kills here with the big swings of the hammers. Not going to, and now this point is going to turn. Powered by Bees finally take it in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, but you know, Powered by Bees, they set themselves up for a very good hold. They almost take all 4 minutes off the clock. They got their Rhine back up to a shatter, and while they do cap this, everyone got early spawn, so they'll be able to just push in here and do whatever they want with this first hold. Now, Powered by Bees are already holding through the choke, but no one's really on cart right now to get it rolling, so they're gonna have to back all the way up and probably get caught out and maybe even back out through this choke again.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of an error they did. They just didn't realize that the cart wasn't moving. Shatter coming in from Plays for Cheese. Wicked Moments finishing off his cohort while Moira there, and now 2 big kills here for the defense as the cart is finally just getting to the archway here, as they're now going to be pushing into the archway, and now that payload is stuck there, and that is not a good place, as the members of the Bees here have to regroup back into spawn. 158 here on the clock, and they've got to reshuffle and reorganize here to get that payload out of that archway.
Yeah, like I was saying, I think the Powered by Bees were just a little too aggressive and hopeful in holding that cart, but They just come in, they don't have to worry about the shatter anymore. They have the shatter, they have the tank ults, they have basically all 6 that they use, but they have to be careful not to overinvest here.
Yeah, Bob gets onto the field here, and he's positioned on the other side of the wall, shielded here by the defense to try to make sure that they survive this ult. And a Coalescence coming out here. Peachy getting caught into the Graviton is going to get demeched here as they move on in. Kills coming in on the offense, so now it looks like the Sombras are going to have to retreat. Good offensive push there from Powered by Bees, as now the Sombras have to regroup.
Yeah, and I think they're going to want that grab back just because it's a little excessive, but you can't be too upset about it. You still have the Ryan Shatter, you still have the Blizzard. Both of those, when lined up correctly, can be an easy fight win. And you can also use like the Blizzard, the Shatter to help everyone else charge ults. But right now, 1 minute left on the clock. The cart still has to go around this corner, and there's not a whole lot of options for the defense. All they really have is Kachigo with that Reaper Death Blossom, and last time I didn't find anything, but he's also set up in a good flank spot now. Let's see if he can get anything with it.
Yeah, he's right above him now. He's going to try to drop on him and basically take this point back right here. And here he comes. He gets 3. He gets 4. Kachiga goes ham there right onto the cart. He timed it perfectly, and with 30 seconds left to go, they're going to have to struggle to get back here to point B.
And what a 6k too, because even though there was only credit with 4 in the Death Blossom, absolutely finished off the man, got some damage onto that Rhine, so he's got to be smiling right now in their team comms. Still 20 seconds left. There will be one time for a fight, and you know, that Death Blossom managed to get the defense some ultimates up. They have some tools to work with, but the better Shatter's going to win this one.
Oh, Shatter coming in with a bomb! PG comboed that excellently placed really well right into the background area. They weren't ever going to be able to block it. So overtime now ticking down, and no members here from Powered by Bees, but Sombras and their coach Passion Fruit making them look absolutely amazing there on defense. Great 2 ults back to back from the Sombras that stopped Powered by Bees right before point B. Excellent use there by the Sombras, and now it is up to them on offense to get it right just before point B to win them this map.
Yeah, and generally when the cart gets pretty far into point B, it's very hard to cap just because that is one of the longest walks for attackers in Overwatch. Mm-hmm. But, you know, Sombra set themselves up so good for that entire fight just by holding on to point A for as long as they did. And even though it's hard, it was just, I'd say it's just far enough from point B where it's not the most difficult. Like a lot of times when you see holds at point B, it's like in numbers range from the end where it starts saying like 5 meters, 3 meters, you know, something in there. But they just barely got it around that last corner. So it's in a place awkward enough for the defense to run out of point C to try and contest it that it might be an easy win if they roll through A fast enough, right?
Yeah.
And with the way that they've been coordinating these ults and the way that you saw the offense last round from Powered by Bees just sort of fall apart in that last 20 seconds. Like you saw that they were rushing. You saw that the Ryan wasn't thinking about Shatter or any counterplay. He was just like, I need to get to cart, had the shield down, and the team got Shatter bombed because of it. And plays like that really have a large blow to the mental of teams. But now we see Sombras rolling out, and no surprises here. It's the exact same thing they ran on defense. But that early Dynamite's going to get Blue Jay very close to a bomb very early on.
Yeah, he's going to really like that. So it looks like they're not going to stall up at all. They're going to keep going. And Plays for Cheese here being very aggressive. He's already pushed his team right back up to the edge of the box. Jay Repa getting a big early kill here onto Blue Jay. That's going to be able to stop him. Plays for Cheese goes in deep, gets the charge in, and actually gets the kills he needs. His team is protecting him just right. So he's going to be able to stay alive, and they get a quick point A here on the great aggression as they moved on in. No quarter given to the members of the Powered by Bees.
And they're already up too. They're looking for staggers, but everyone's going to get trapped in the dungeon here, back in the subways. And even though Kachiga gets fired out, they're not really in a position to fight this. You see how split up the defense is right now. They find Maya out of the ice block, and now it's a 5v6. If they keep fighting this, we'll just get free cart distance the entire time.
No, exactly. But a kill on the J Repa there just as they were about to go in is actually going to stall them up a little bit. So they're actually regrouping on the cart and trying to move this through the archway really quickly. This is a smart move here from the Sombras. So now it looks like Plays for Cheese is going to position himself on the other side of the bookstore to try to see if he can get them to come out. They're going to be 6v6 here as they come into the first corner. So now they're going to want to push on in. Cheese has got to be super careful about the Dynamite. Comes in with the Shatter. That gets blocked by Krogarn there. Good job holding the corner here. So now it'll be a matter of who gets the first kill first. Plays for Cheese being very aggressive. Got onto the Sombra, who immediately ice blocked but a Shatter coming in from Krogarn's not going to be able to hit anything, but Fedex actually getting Kachiga is going to slow them down. Here comes a tire from Jay Repa. He's going to try to see if he can get anyone. He does get Blue Jay, which is going to give them a little bit of push, but with Bob out on the field for the side of the defense, that's going to slow them down with a big block with an ice wall there, stopping the payload. Plays for Cheese went down, and this might be the end of the offensive push here for the members of the Sombras. They're still going to hold out on the other side of the bookstore and see maybe if they can get another kill, but there's the Rhine on the other side is also down. So they will go 5v5 here as they approach the streets here, as it looks like the May from Tenacious is going to be able to block them off and try to reposition them on the other side, not being the way that they want to. Pulse, they're trying to hold them in this narrow alleyway with 4 minutes to go. They need to get another big kill here if they can come through. Krogarn has got to be super careful about getting picked off.
Yeah, they do, but look at MLG Kachiga, again set up in the back for Death Blossom. No one knows he's there, but Blue Jay does find him out and forces the Wraith form. And then the Graviton comes out from the defense, and everything is being blown, but they're the ones starting to find kills. Krogan on the Rhine, May on Tenacious on the May, find the first 2 picks, but Play Cheez-It strikes back with that charge kill onto Krogan.
Yeah, and it looks like the aggressiveness from Plays for Cheese has actually played really well, as he took Krogan around on a big charge, and now he's going to be able to charge, hits the Moira directly as she was ulting, and as another tire from Jay Repa comes out, this fight has still continued, and Kachiga gets 2 on the big Death Blossom, and that's going to open them up, and that will maybe give them the win here on Kings Row. Will anybody be able to push on in? Not going to be able to go in, and it will be a Sombras win here on Kings Row. They take the lead 1-0.
And, you know, even though that last fight was so messy, you saw it going on for a solid 2 minutes. Sombras were in a position where they could let it happen. They captured point A so quickly that they could just more or less screw around on the point for as long as they wanted, build up ults, and just play for ult banks, because they were never really down. Sometimes they were even with those 4v4s or 5v5s, but they were smart enough to not feed too many ults, and they knew that they had spawn advantage, and it just worked out. And as soon as they got their DPS in those flanking ult positions with the Tire, with the Reaper Death Blossom, that's all they needed to open up the fight, and it just collapsed from there from Powered by Bees.
Yeah, they absolutely did. And I got to give kudos to the Sombras, too, for the way that they were comboing their ults on defense, the way they made sure that the teams, when they were open, they used their ults really, really well, coming in with the Death Blossom and then pushing in on that, and as well as the Bomb Shatter combo that was done that you saw just right there in plays of the game. Very, very well done. They used that sort of that jitteriness with the last 30 seconds and putting them in the mentality of needing to get onto the cart that opened them up for that combo. So now the Sombras with 1-0 lead, they'll have the right to ban, and Passion Fruit, coach for the Sombras, is actually going to ban Volskaya Industries. So that takes that control map off the board. So that's going to leave us with 6 other maps, and the maps that are going to be available are Oasis, Lijiang Tower, Temple of Anubis, Eichenwald, 66, and Dorado. So those are going to be what is going to be available, and it will be the Bees who get to pick first. The Bees had a really hard game in round 1, having to win 3-2. Something they don't really talk about is stamina in these tournaments, and having to play a 3-2 matchup and then having to come back and play another game could really take it really out of you. I hope the Bees have enough energy to sort of power up, because they looked a little slow against the Sombras there on Kings Row.
Yeah, and I mean that might be indicative of their records, because like we were saying, Sombras are undefeated, Powered by Bees are 3-1, so very close. But that one loss compared against a team that's, you know, undefeated, you start to see cracks in them against teams like this. However, I don't think Powered by Bees should feel like they're out of it yet. They did have a slow start, and just because of their time bank, it would have been very hard, nearing impossible, to take Kings Row. So after that attack, there's a chance they could have held on to A better, but they're really wanting to run this May Ashe, presumably to stick to their players' strengths. And you see why it's not really a common lineup. Like, this is one of the only places you see it, because it just kind of folds to the sheer amount of frontline pressure coming out from the Junkrat, from the Reaper. They're a little bit better at catching those flanks off guard, especially if you can catch like a flank off guard with, you know, like a Death Blossom or a Tire. The Ashe needs to just be playing out of their mind in order to set themselves up. But we are going into Dorado. So like you said, they banned Volskaya, which honestly has been the favored 2CP point if teams play 2CP at all, so that assault map type. And I can understand it, because even though a lot of people like it, Volskaya is a very hard map to learn at higher levels of Overwatch, right? Like the rotations you have to do, how you approach it is very different in quick play as it should be in ranked. So part of the reasons being, like, especially the last couple times we went there, we saw like high ground defenses with like bastions or torbs or like double shield, and it's very hard to get to like teach teams how to adapt to that, how to push those rotations, and it makes sense. But we are going to Dorado, which I don't think I've seen at all in any of my casts with you during Scrub Cup, and it's because a lot of coaches are hesitant to go to payload maps, escort maps.
Yeah.
So part of the reason is payload maps play very differently than pretty much every map type in Overwatch. They're very different than 2CP, very different than hybrid, because everything's a time game. Like, sometimes you want to tactically stagger if you're playing at a high enough level just to shave seconds off the clock, but a lot of coaches just opt to never even, like, we're not screwing with payloads, like, this is a goal, we'll just not worry about it. But this is some new flavors that we've seen from both these teams. We have a solo Echo from the side of Sombruhs, but we do have that Pharmacy coming out from the defense. Generally, Echo's thought to win this, but that Pharr does have some extra aerial support, so if we can see some fancy directs coming out from Blue Jay onto Kachiga, this might prove a little bit spicy.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And like, this might be a pocket pick here from Powered by Bees. So this is going to be one of those maps that maybe they had to go into the well to pull this out. So now the payload here stuck under the archway and plays for Cheese here, and his aggressiveness is not going to be able to sort of push on in, as it looks like Krogarn here trying to make sure that he can get his team through, but everybody's still stuck behind that payload. They got to figure out a way. The Echo here from Kachiga in the back, just keeping them at bay by flying and trying to just sort of land on him. Blue Jay here needs to get some big rockets into the background here and force them back a little bit. Blue Jay really, really low, gets the ult, but unfortunately is going to get taken out of the air by Kachiga, and now it is going to be res. She's going to be res here into the background as the Coalescence comes out. The entire team here is going to fall behind the corner trying to draw them in. As you can see, it looks like the Sombras being very aggressive. They do not want to let him out of the archway here, Pulse, and they've Echo here from Kachiga using the Reinhardt to come through and absolutely hits a big shatter coming in, and it is going to be the defense from the Sombras that are going to keep them to hold. They had that they tried to combo a shatter and the barrage in the background. They didn't get enough here, and the Echo coming in from Kachiga was able to even up the score, and now we're down to 1:41, and they still haven't gotten themselves out of the square, and now they have to win going in against 3 ults here. Fedex and Krogarn have big ults. They're going to need to use them to make sure that they can get out of the square here, Pulse.
Absolutely, and even though both tanks, Krogarn and Fedex, like you said, have those ultimates, Blaze for Cheese is just holding them off. Kachiga's holding off the Pharr and then instantly retreating down and helping the tank line, but the Shatter finds something, the Grabs finds 5, but the nade is what wins them that fight, and they take everything.
Oh, that was such a huge nade there by Envy. Oh, it nailed it right there into the middle as it hit everyone, and that just allowed Krogarn to just swing away at him and is going to let them take point A. Now they're just going to push on a little bit here, trying to make sure, but if I'm the members of Sombras, I just let them have it.
Yeah,
set up your defense. Yeah, they let them have it. They set up their defense here, getting ready to go in, and Pulse, they're going to set up right around the first corner, as it looks like they're going to be poking a little bit. Blue Jay, though, gets a big kill onto Wicked Moment. The Moira now off the field, so they're going to try to see if they can push in and maybe get a stagger kill hill and not let him set up on defense.
Yeah, look at that. J-Repa gets really low, but plays for Cheese. Shield up, almost broken. They do manage to get out, but the card is getting some free distance now. So early on in the point, not too big of a deal, because we are going to want to see the defense hold at this late choke into point B, where it becomes very time expensive once the offense starts losing fights. J-Repa now getting very close to the tire, and Wicked Moment does have that Coalescence in order to just force their way onto this point and start a brawl. But Blue Jay in the sky with a barrage is looking for a way to drop it.
Yeah, this aerial fight between Kachiga and Blue Jay has just been very, very interesting. Blue Jay's trying to force all the rockets into the background. That bomb goes directly into the air, and it actually gets Battle Barbie. So what an interesting bomb placement by Peachy there, and he's able to get Blue Jay too in the end. So now they take out all of the aerial assault here that is going to be coming in from the offense. Great job here by Peachy, and now they're just going to turn it around on them and force them back into spawn. 2 minutes here on the clock, and they have such a huge ult bank to work with, both the side on the offense and the defense. So we're going to see fireworks here in the next push.
Yeah, presumably. Peachy was able to single-handedly more or less win their team that fight with that bomb, just to find the Mercy, find the far out of position. But now there's basically 10 ults online in this lobby, because that Soldier, that Mercy are both going to build up to theirs pretty quickly. And whichever team catches the other off guard is going to be winning this. And if Blue Jay can get in position to drop a barrage, or Jay Repa can just sit in the back and get a tire out, those are the two I'm going to be looking for this fight.
Yeah, Jay Repa is actually on the top. Wants probably to drop the tire onto the ground here, so now he's actually going in against the Zarya in the room, as he gets the worst end of that. Plays for Cheese, uses his ult right into a shield, so they lose their they lose that. Here comes the Graviton. They're going to drop a shield right onto it. Was a Coalescence, and Krogarn got nanoed, so therefore it's not going to happen. Here comes the res, brings Blue Jay back in, so only Kachiga here is going to try to be able to defend. The Echo's been a handful, but he's going to get taken down, but great use of the ults here from the offense as they push on through. They're going to capture point B, and now
no, they're not.
here.
There's going to be one more fight.
There is going to be one more fight. Plays for Cheese, though, gets eliminated right off the bat, and so does Token, and now they actually do it. A little bit of a delay, but they do close it out, but that could be more trouble than it's worth, as they are now a little bit behind, but with the doors stalling them up, they're going to be able to fight 6v6 again.
Yeah, but you want to see the defense right now retreat, because the Diva's not going to be able to take out the Pharah from this range, especially once she already has aerial control. Right now, Tenacious on that high ground with Soldier. He's going to be looking for a visor into the backline, but Jay Repa saw him.
Yeah, Jay Repa saw him indeed. So now Peachy here trying to see if he can just basically just use that defense matrix, protect the rest of his team. Charge coming in, and an ult here is used by the Echo, goes into a Reinhardt, and now it will be Kachiga as will immediately sort of bail on that. Tire comes in from Jay Repa, gets 3! That's going to stall the offense for sure, as Jay Repa getting 4th, and that was a really, really good tire here. That was what he was holding it out for. Wanted to make sure he got a lot of players with that. Charge comes in from Plays for Cheese, and that's going to set a reset for the offense. 1:15 here left on the clock to see if they can get this point C.
And now it's going to be really hard for the offense too, because not only is Dorado point C incredibly hard to break and fully cap, you're sticking on this Pharmacy, which has trouble getting into tight areas. Pharah is not too bad once you're in them, but pushing through these chokes as a Pharah, especially once Peachy already has this high ground, Jay Repa has control of the alleys as they choose, as there's already an Echo there, it can be very hard for Blue Jay to push in and get into a flank position with this barrage, but the defense just kind of forfeits high ground and lets Blue Jay get the space that they want.
Yeah, and Blue Jay just basically firing away here right into the back line. So that's going to force the Echo from Kachiga back into the air, trying to see if they can maybe nullify all the rockets that are coming through. Here comes a bomb again into the air by Peachy, and Peachy again with a great bomb eliminates the aerial damage coming in from Blue Jay and Barbie. They had nowhere to go, Pulse. So now it's going to be on the ground to see whether or not they can do anything. Shield comes in here on the defense as it is Krogarn who is nano boosted. He's going to get charged all the way in the back, and he's going to get eliminated by Token here, so the defense is going to be able to hold with 3 seconds left to go. They're not going to be able to come back, and they're going to close it out here right on the ramp of point C. That play, the bombs used by Peachy, used in opportune moments, taking out that Pharmacy up in the air twice in this push, is actually what saved them from basically getting eliminated by rockets there. So good work by the Diva. 2 for 1 on those bombs have been just really fantastic.
Yeah, and honestly, you look at the lineup, and a lot of teams that play in this generally kind of panic when they start to see these Pharmacies come out, because it's like, oh, we don't have anyone that can play like a really good Widow, or like a really good, like Hanzo sometimes it's like not as good as a Widow, but sometimes one of those heroes that's pointed at a lot, or like a Soldier or Kree. Mm-hmm. And I want to point out that like none of those heroes are particularly great at shutting down a Pharmacy by themselves. It's always with support. And in this case, they're playing very defensively. They're kind of just letting Kachiga feint an aerial battle. So they're kind of like faking it, just doing the very minimum to hold them off. And then once Kachiga gets low, you see Peachy kind of take over, hold off the Pharmacy for a bit. And they're not really addressing it, but they're playing smart enough that they're just minimizing the value that Blue Jay can get. And that's really how you have to address a Pharmacy. Blue Jay's been having trouble finding spots to get in unless the cart has already had momentum. And a lot of these fights where I'm like, yeah, I'm expecting Blue Jay to take a flank angle and push in, Kachiga and Peachy just have not been letting Blue Jay do that. Like, they've been holding off their positioning, making sure that you can't see these barrages opening it up. Instead, they kind of are just using it for support into like 2 or 3 other ultimates. Like, you see a Nano, you see a Shatter, you see a Graviton, and then the barrage comes out to try and finish off kills. Yeah. So Blue Jay really not finding the value I think they want to find on Far right now, and it's causing this team a lot of issues.
Yeah, very much so, as they're not getting the push that they want on the ground either. Krogarn had to use a Nano multiple times in order to break through. Kachiga getting a kill on the Battle Barbie here, and that's going to be big. So they lose the Mercy on the in the air. So Blue Jay's going to be by himself up there, and they lose a big chunk of healing. But Krogarn getting killed there also again, and slowly but surely the members are getting whittled down here from Powered by Bees. The Sombras are just going to be pushing on through, and down they go here. And this is going to be a quick 0.8 take. They only use up a minute of the clock, so they'll have a huge amount of time here through the middle phase.
Yeah, and I'm starting to get feelings that I was seeing in Kings Row. Very quick point A, set themselves up for a good point B, but right now the defense is just a little bit reeling. They don't have a good answer to Kachiga when they need to be addressing it a little bit more. But I think JREP is putting out so much pressure on the front line that Krogarn is sort of getting pressured a lot and asking his team for help, when I think it's Krogarn that needs to be playing a little bit more safe so they can dedicate more resources into taking down this aerial disaster that is Kachiga.
Oh, and a big shatter coming in, but the big kill was Battle Barbie in the beginning of this fight. Battle Barbie going down again, and they just go in on that, take out the rest of the members here of Powered by Bees, and the Sombras have just not stopped out of the spawn. They are just going here, and now it'll be up to the Bees here to defend directly on point B.
Yeah, and you already see Kachiga and Peachy in flank positions to just shell people as soon as they start walking on to try and contest. But Tenacious on that soldier is trying to take over the high ground and does force Peachy down, allowing Blue Jay to get in with the damage boost on the Mercy, but Battle Barbie can't go down first again.
Yeah, exactly. Battle Barbie already taking half damage here. Has got to be super careful, as that is exactly what Kachiga has been targeting. JREPA getting a lot of damage. Good Graviton here, but a big shield comes in right away to prevent them. They're going to try to combo with the barrage here. Krogarn has to swing away, getting nano boosted. They're going to use that. Here comes the tire, by JREPA. Gets Envy into the background, and now Kachiga coming in on the ult of the ulting Echo here will be able to take out multiple players here, as they will be trying to fight back, but no, it will get shut down eventually, as Token here getting taken out there onto the point, and it is going to be a hold here by the Bees, but that was very, very close, as it looks like they were able to just hold on here and set a reset for the offense. 3:35 here on the clock. Plenty of time here for the Sombras to gather themselves and push on and get point B.
Yeah, they definitely have enough time to try and cap this, but right now this is a position of Dorado that's very easy to shave off time for B, so they got to be happy with this. They have the ultimate advantage right now, they have the positional advantage, and they're just making it absolute hell for the offense to try and walk in and find anything. But here comes the Peachy Bomb to take out the Pharmacy.
Oh, but it took out both of the supports this time. The Pharmacy didn't get taken out, but they got the two most important possibly players on the field. The supports here getting taken out, and now it's just going to be a matter of time. They're going to FedEx here is going to be alone on the cart, gets bounced around and taken out finally, and they're going to cap point B there. Another huge bomb by Peachy opens it up here for the members of the Sombras, and now they have 4 minutes here to get it to the box of victory.
Yeah, and 4 minutes on point C of Dorado. This seems like an inevitability for the Sombras. They have the ability to roll this through if they want, because you still see the last couple spawns coming out, but now we see Tenacious on that Torbjorn. They've opted to try and use this to help pressure Kachiga on that Echo just a little bit more, and with the turret, with the Pharmacy in the sky, this might be the answer they're looking for, but they're on their last leg right now.
Losing place for Cheese is going to be huge. They now are able to combo with the Earth Shatter there, and that is a great defense there, folks. Right there, they were able to take out plays for Cheese, and that just opened it up for the Shatter for Krogarn, and then they combine with Blue Jay. That is a good victory fight, but they need about 4 more of those pulse to make sure that they can hold off.
6 or 7, honestly.
Maybe, you're probably right.
Fights were pretty quick. Like, they used a lot of ultimates in it. Krogarn kind of used the Shatter. They kind of used the Barrage when they didn't really need to. They were already up. They want to be playing for time and dragging out these fights as long as possible. But the turret's already down. And look, Kachiga's just in the sky raining disaster. The tire's already out along with half the team on the floor from Powered by Bees. And the tire finds Envy.
Yeah, Tire finds Envy. We've got Krogar nano boosted here. He was shattered and was unable to finish off the players in the Graviton here, but it looks like Kachiga trying to come back in on the Echo Reinhardt, trying to push on through. They finally get Krogar down, and that's going to open up the team here for the meantime. So now they're going to be able to push onto the ground. Battle Barbie here trying to sort of stay up, not going to be able to do so. Blue Jay taking Token out, but then gets taken out here by the Echo in the air. They're going to be able to come at least around the corner. That box, that blue box of victory is right there. It's possible they're going to get another push here. Here comes Krogarn. He's going to at least try to stall it right here on the push. Charge comes in, and he's able to avoid that. Shatter comes in as he was able to float on in. Another big bomb here gets set into a really tough area to defend, and 2 big kills coming in from Kachiga and Repa here, as now the fight will be on the card. Will they be able to defend? Wicked Moment gets taken down in the barrage as the fight will continue. Fedex taking down Cheese as they have been trading kills. Graviton here will catch Peachy on the back of the cart, but they don't have enough DPS to sort of push them off as they are outnumbered on the cart here, about 4-2, as here comes Krogarn again swinging away, but a big shield here coming in from Token will save the rest of the team. Payload here still occupied as they're trying their best to hold it off, but it's now going to be a matter of time. It looks like here they're just stalling as best as they can. Looks like Fedex here coming in on the ball as Molten Core actually coming in from Tenacious, trying to defend as best as he can. Another shatter here coming in, but unable to do anything with regards to it as the fight will continue. And oh no, it looks like a last-ditch effort here from Battle Barbie, and finally they capture the point, and it is 2-0 here for the Sombras in this quarterfinal, powered by Bees. Last-ditch effort there to defend on point, just unable to hold them off, but there was just so much time on the clock. The Sombras, it was going to be inevitable that they were going to take that point.
Yeah, and you saw why it's so hard to break point C2. Like, they were able to just keep staggering onto point, really dragged out that last fight. But I want to just point out, because I was so focused on the fight of the cart, as that fight started to end, I just saw play from Cheese walking back from the defender spawn on Rhine, just spawn camping casually. So I don't know what happened there, but I'm interested to go back and look at a replay of that for sure.
Yeah, that would be very, very interesting to see, just because it's like, that's actually a good idea for him to just sort of swing that hammer. And because they really only needed about less than about 5 meters, he was just trying to stall them off away from the cart as best as he could. And he was playing the sacrificial lamb by the door to try to keep him away from the cart. So now it looks like there's going to be a sub coming in here for Powered by Bees, as one of the players here has to go. Manomi is actually going to be subbing in a player, and it's going to be Caps Lock. So
Caps Lock's for Blue Jay. So Blue Jay was their initial sub playing the Pharah, and for a sub they were really relying on that Pharmacy a lot, and I can't blame them because Pharmacy can do a lot of damage on Dorado point A and B, but you kind of see the coordination wasn't there, whereas like between Peachy and Kachiga, like they were honestly playing together very well. One of the issues in dealing with Pharmacy, like I said, is making sure you have that positioning, but also making sure that you don't overcommit to it, because like I've seen many coaches, many players try and be like, yeah, you just have D.Va go dive at her and go pew pew pew, right? But it's like not that simple, because if you overinvest all of your cooldowns and try and take in a Pharmacy and you're not really thinking about it, or you're not really sure how to do it properly, more often than not, you see a D.Va just like fly into the sky, get shredded, and demeched, and that was never happening. You never saw a moment from the Sombras where they over-invested in trying to take care of a Pharah. And having that restraint and sort of being like, okay, like, yeah, we did what we could, but now we got to back up and play under this cover for a little bit until we have another opportunity, is incredible, given that the Scrub Cup is one of those tournaments where it's like, yeah, these teams are gold and below, like 2,500 and lower, and they're playing like they're almost a diamond team right now.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very tough. So now the Bees have it all to play for here in this best of 5. So it is first to 3. So the Bees have to figure out like what they want to play going in here. The Sombras will have the ban, so it'll be interesting to see if they ban Volskaya again, to just maybe make sure that
it was Anubis.
Was it Anubis?
It was Anubis, yeah.
I missed it. Oh my god! So I missed it. Yeah, so they banned another control point map, so therefore they'll be able to choose from the remaining maps, and that'll be Oasis, Lijiang, Volskaya, Eichenwald, and 66. So I'm interested to seeing if Bees will try to pick another escort map, but I don't know if that'll be in their favor if they want to sort of do that.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I hope we kind of explained it well enough, but escort is very uncommon to see in Scrub Cup overall, and honestly in a lot of things, when a lot of formats where you don't have to play a certain map type, like people like to give assault maps a lot of crap because it's like, oh, 2CP, like it's really hard to cap B. But the way that professionals and people in Overwatch play escort is so different than the way that anyone plays it if you just load into quick play. Because look at point A, for example, powered by Bees and Sombra. That first fight from powered by Bees when they were on the offense, they were stuck at the choke for 2-3 minutes because the defense was just like, we win this by being alive, just by standing on cart, making sure it doesn't get any distance.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely how you play escort. Like you force the offense to make plays, trying to overcommit, and you just hold the cart. Like you don't need to win a fight to win the map, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of teams don't really realize that, so you don't see escort a lot because it's a hard thing to do for a coach to be like, change their players' mentality about how to play an entire mode of Overwatch, especially when all these players have been playing for 500 plus hours on their own, just for fun. So, and that's like a very hard thing to go back. It's like trying to fix your swing in baseball or trying to fix like your form for making 3-pointers, right? Like it just is not a thing that happens overnight. So it's very uncommon to see. And honestly, with the type of play that we see powered by Bees going for it again. Like they really want to choose these escort maps, but I don't think that they're playing it as well as Sombras are. So they're kind of forced themselves into a back corner where they're like, this is what we want to do, but we're just being outplayed right now, like on a fundamental level.
Yeah, and it is going to be 66 as your next map. And it will be the Bees here on offense again. So they will be pushing initially. And this push right by Big Earls is going to be very, very difficult for them. I mean, Sombras, Kachiga is probably going to be on that Echo, and Repa is going to be on that Junkrat. So they're just going to be raining bombs on this payload, and they're going to need to be able to take this fight to them. And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do that or not. It looks like Kachiga actually will be going to the Genji here.
I don't know about that one. I'll wait until it gets a little bit closer, but yeah,
well,
okay. So it looks like a soldier. Soldier's
Mm-hmm.
what they're running out on. And
okay.
Genji's hard on defense, so I'm not going to give him any shit for that. But when you're talking about the Echo coming out, part of the reason why I think it was such a good pick on Dorado, but they don't want to run it here, is the aerial cover, especially on point A, right? Dorado has a lot of buildings for an Echo to play around, especially if you're expecting a pharmacy, like Kachiga was able to just hold them off on their own. But in this one, since there's less cover, a lot more space, if you're expecting a FAR to run out, you want to be a little bit safer, and Soldier's one of the better picks for that, I think, because there's a little bit extra healing, a little bit more consistent damage. They can still play safe, and honestly, the mobility to just get out of rockets is going to be a little bit more useful than, say, like an Ashe, especially if they're more proficient on the Soldier pick. But now we do see double Reinhardts on Route 66, which isn't super common. Normally you see Orissas or Monkeys or things of that sort, but J Repa already finding some value on this tire and getting pretty close to that tire in the first 20 seconds.
Oh, I know, but now we get to watch Caps Lock here, who doesn't go onto the Pharah, but instead will actually be picking a Hanzo here, be looking for picks into the back, so they actually go right into Big Earls, and now the fight is actually going to occur right at the bottom of, right by the gas pumps there, as J Repa is able to take Caps Lock down. So he comes in right away, and looks like he's not going to be able to do this much.
They're just contesting the height. They're not even taking this fight. This is the exact same thing we saw in Dorado, because Big Earls has that excessively long awning. You can actually just contest cart from it, and they're doing it. Like, they're not even taking this fight, and the offense doesn't know what to do about it.
Yeah, they need to be able to get up there and actually push them back so that they can move the movement on the cart. That's what they do. I mean, it's one of those things. Tenacious needs to maybe put a wall and send the team up there possibly, but the wall actually is going to be used to just sort of block off the side. Krogarn, though, gets plays for Cheese, and that's a big kill. So now with no shield, they're going to be able to sort of move on in, and it's going to allow Krogarn here to basically push on in and swing away. That Diva from Peachy is going to get demeched, and they're going to get a lot of push here from the back, and that might have won them the point.
Yeah, it looked like Play for Cheese actually got knocked down from the knockback of the hammer swing from Krogarn. And the comms must have been a little bit too cluttered because no one dropped with him, and he was just kind of abandoned by that. And that's an unusual way to say it, but that looked exactly what had happened. The big win from that defense, though, is J-Repa got up to a tire, which can very easily take control at this point. But Krogarn and Fevex are in a position where they are completely outclassing their opposing tanks on their own ultimate, so they have to be the ones to make a play here. They have to use the coalescence from Battle Barbie to get in, find a big Shatter, or find a big Graviton and do something with it.
Yeah, exactly. So now they need to make sure that they can find that opening, but Peachy's going to hang up top here, probably just going to watch the high ground, make sure that Caps Lock doesn't necessarily get too far around. He's trying to sort of flank around, maybe catch them around. They're allowing the payload to come around the bend here already as a tire coming in from J-Repa. He's going to try to hit for the back. Unfortunately, doesn't get anybody, but the big kill here is going to be Krogarn as Battle Barbie does take J-Repa out, but with no front line here, that's going to allow Plays for Cheese to sort of just come on in. Token taking Fedex out too, so therefore the entire front line with getting taken out, and it's going to force them to readjust and maybe start over again. Tenacious getting caught on the late stagger there. Going to stall this offense, but now the defense here with 4 big ults ready to go, but a big 6 here from the offense is going to give them enough firepower to supposedly push them through, but I don't know, Pulse.
Yeah, I think right now, like I said, it's going to be the same condition as last time. You're going to have to see a play come out from Krogarn or Fedex so that they can open this up, and they want to do it without over-investing. So I'm looking at like Grav Dragon potentially.
Yeah, Grav Dragon potentially, possibly a big Shatter to open up the team. And here's the Grav right now, and a Shatter counter, but they were able to get the shield off as Peachy takes Krogarn down, and they did use 3 ults on there, make that 4, as Tenacious used his ult up on the ground either, but they're already down 2 players now, and that is not good here for the offense as Caps Lock getting taken out here from Kachiga, who used his visor to take them down. Only 2 ults by the defense, but 4 from the offense, and they didn't get any push. So more efficient here on the defense, and now that payload is still stuck on the bend with 2:35 here left to go.
Yeah, Grav Dragon was the play, but the bus for Caps Lock's Dragon was running a little bit late because by the time it got to the Graviton, it was basically already dispersed. So you're running in this position where we know Caps Lock's is a sub, but you can definitely see the coordination not there. He's been playing in a position that's far enough back to catch out these flanks, but so far back that he can't really support his tank line as well as he needs to be in some of these fights.
Yeah. So it's like, it's like he's doing one but not the other, and that is causing a little bit of consternation here for the offenses. Now they're trying to just get around this bend. Another tire here from J-Repa going to be problematic as both Envy and Tenacious get taken down. That's going to be enough as Krogarn went down too. So now at least they're going to be able to get a fast reset here. 150 on the clock. Super quick. 1 ult, 3 dead reset here from Powered by Bees. So now Pulse, 139 here, they maybe get 2 good pushes on this payload, but they're in trouble.
Yeah, they're definitely in a position where they don't want to be. After starting this map very well, honestly, like they did struggle a little bit with that weird contest coming out from the defense that not a lot of players know about, but they've lost so much time on B, and they're at an ult disadvantage right now because they heavily invested in that Graviton Dragon fight, and now they're just trying to get back into a position where they can make a play, but not when you get slammed by Play for Cheese.
Pay for Cheese hits a huge Shatter and is able to take Battle Barbie down. So now the members of the offense here have to realize that they don't have time on their side. They're going to need to reset quick and give themselves the best chance they can at a final push here onto the payload. 60 seconds called here by the computer. So now it is going to be one final push here for the offense. Fedex has to do something with this Graviton, or it's going to be over here for the Bees as the Sombruhs are set here with 3 ults, possibly 4, as Kachiga is almost at his visor.
Yeah, and this fight will be do or die. If they invest too heavily in this, they will not have another chance to do anything. But if this fight drags on, then they won't have another fight to begin with. Right now, the Sombruhs trying to just retreat from that coalescence, but doesn't find anyone. But J-Repa in a flank position, about to get to another tire. This might be the fight.
Yeah, Coalescence coming out here, and a shield actually comes out here for the offense from Envy to try to cover for that. Here comes the Graviton, and again, Token uses his shield right as the Graviton hits. Kachiga actually will use the visor, and a huge tire from J-Repa, taking 3 out in the backline behind the payload, is going to wipe out the Bees. and overtime is called here as it looks like a last-second dragon here onto the point, trying as they can to see if they can get anyone. That was desperation there from Caps Lock. Unfortunately, that's going to be it. They don't get around the bend, so only 1.5 points here for the members of Powered by Bees, and the Sombruhs looking very, very good to take the win here on 66.
Yeah, this might be the last that we see of Powered by Bees if they don't pull it together in this do or die moment. Honestly, when you were talking about that last fight territory, 1 minute left is a position where if you were playing together enough and on the same page, you probably could have gotten 2 fights in if you want, and that would have been their win condition. They had to get 2 fights in. The first fight, they had to more or less drag out as many ultimates as they could from the defense and then died, like jumped off the side, hard reset, something of that nature, so that they set themselves up for a fight in which they would have had an ultimate advantage coming into the last 10, 20 seconds of the match. If they did that, that would have been their best win conditioning at pulling it through C, but that fight just dragged on so long. You saw the defense play for time, drag out that one fight into the entire minute. And J-Repa got a tire. You saw the soldier ult come out, and it's just they've been playing for time so well, the Sombras. They have just been dragging out these fights, making sure that they make the win conditions seem unachievable from Powered by Bees, and they've been just baiting them into these like nuanced things of escort that they've just been using to more or less completely roll them. And now we see more or less the same thing coming out from the defense right now. Powered by Bees, they're running this Hanzo, and they're running a soldier actually, so not the exact same, but Kachiga's coming out on this Echo again, presumably expecting a far or something. It's going to be a little bit more pressured from the soldier and Hanzo, but if they play it like they have been, and Kachiga just plays incredibly safe, this is just going to be an easy pick onto Caps Locks with this beam. It does get the health pack though, and they have to back out a little bit.
Yeah, Kachiga was actually chasing him down, hoping to get him, but the ground units have been doing what they've needed to do, as it looks like they were able to take out both the Reinhardt and Envy, and now they get 2 more big kills here from J-Repa and Peachy, so they do get the kills that they need, and a reset needs to come out here, and it needs to be quick for the members of Powered by Bees. The payload is stalled.
They get Caps Locks.
Oh, they
got the stagger kill. So now if the defense wants to contest, if Powered by Bees wants to make a play here, they will be forced to do it at a man disadvantage with Caps Locks coming in late. And now Plays for Cheese has a shatter, and MLG Kachiga are holding this high ground, but they find Envy on Lucio, and this isn't the fight you wanted. They get the 4-man shatter, and Cart gets point A for free. It was basically never contested, and they're cleaning up these staggers, just rolling through Route 66, and I don't think this is map. This is not Powered by Bees days, and they just have to realize this, because this isn't how you want to go down.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're just getting hard staggered here with late kills there onto Caps Lock again as he was coming out, and now with the payload only about 40 meters away, Powered by Bees here are going to have to defend a really hard point here. Pretty much 5 minutes on the clock. Plays for Cheese here, sending fire strikes in as they're getting just as much payload push as they can. They have about 3 people onto the payload, and now finally the Bees are here and are going to defend here up on the bridge. They cannot lose a single soul here to make sure that they get this defense. Fevex here able to get J-Repa, so a good opening start here. Wicked moment though, getting Krogarn. That's going to be huge as a dragon actually got eaten, I think, from Peachy. Yeah, it did. So Peachy able to do everything here onto the point, been able to just hold off the Bees by himself, and that is going to do it. They just powered on through on 66, and the Sombras here take a 3-0 win over Powered by Bees. They were overpowered here by the Sombras on Route 66.
Absolutely, and I think there was a chance for Powered by Bees to come back if they weren't so reliant on escort, because Sombras just looks so much better equipped for escort maps in general, and the fact that they were trying to use that to their advantage just sealed the deal for them very early on in the series. King's Row wasn't as lopsided as it looked. Like, that was something that you could have come back for, but when you are so heavily reliant on one map type mode, and the other team is just hard outclassing you on that day, like, there's not a whole lot you can do for it, and they kind of spelled their own defeat because of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Bees just couldn't couldn't get it right. Their combos were slightly late. The positioning on some of their DPS just weren't necessarily where they needed to be, and unfortunately, those little mistakes there were taken advantage for by the Sombras, and the Sombras here getting a big win in the quarterfinals. So as I look at the brackets here, the Sombras will end up playing the Night Owls, as the Night Owls take a 3-0 win here over Ben. What is it? NA23. It is Ben and the Six Fish. It's a team that we actually casted. I think
it was actually you and Raza. I was watching the Twitch chat because I had some errands to run earlier that day, but I got to tune in. They had some funny storylines going for them with their main star Ben, the titular player of their team.
Yeah, and then but that was a hell of a match, as the Six Fish get all the way to the quarterfinals, though get shut out by the Night Owls, unfortunately, as they lose to them. NA Team 16, the Night Owls, 3-0. So the game tomorrow in the semifinals will be the NA Team 4, the Sombras, versus the Night Owls. Unfortunately, it happens at 6 p.m. Eastern, and that's smack dab in the middle of the Overwatch League. So unfortunately, that will not be casted live. Unfortunately, but the finals will be tomorrow, casted live here on the channel. We'll push back depending on when Overwatch League ends, and we'll go live as soon as the Overwatch League is over, and we will cast for you right here on the Scrub Cup, on the OW Scrub Cup channel. It'll be Pulse and I who will cast the finals here for the Scrub Cup. So whoever it may be, we will bring it to you live here on Sunday between any of the two teams that make it to the finals. But today's game here between Powered by Bees and the Sombras, it's a 3-0 win here for the Sombras. Final thoughts here, Pulse. I think the Sombras were one of the most organized teams I've seen in the Scrub Cup so far. And, I expect big things from them here going forward.
Yeah, they definitely looked very practiced. I think for this level of play, there are some weaknesses in the way they've been running these team comps. Like in higher play, generally you see like a more dedicated hit scan and a more dedicated like flex DPS, and they were kind of just running Junkrat plus whatever. So that's something that could be taken advantage of if a team has like a particularly adept like Ashe or McCree player, where they could just play distance and get a lot of value out of the Junkrat, or if they might struggle against things that are like double shield or something of that nature. But we just didn't see a whole lot of variance coming out from Powered by Bees, and they tried to take these just slightly disadvantaged team compositions in their favor. Like on King's Row, it was pretty close, but they were running Mei Ashe when you're playing against like a Junk Reaper, which in most cases will just lose every time because so much of the team is not centered around that Ashe play, and instead centered around like being a brawly team. And when you have one man down in a brawl composition, it's very hard unless the Ashe player is just consistently popping. But I will say some good stuff coming out from Powered by Bees, because they're playing with a sub all night. That's something that they didn't have the ability or time to adapt for very easily, and that's not something that we can really like rag on them for, because being one man down from your usual squad in a scrim or in a match is kind of devastating. And sometimes, especially when the players may not have the exact same play style. And especially, I think a lot of the success from Powered by Bees, especially on Dorado, was coming out from Envy's Ana play. So very good Ana play from that, getting a lot of purples into Graviton, sneaking in anti-grenades through like shields and through defense matrix. And it's very hard to do, especially when you're going against a diva player like Peachy that was just on top of the game all night.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was the pushes by Envy that allowed Krogarn and FedEx to actually push forward through and gave Powered by Bees a shot, because they were able to sort of overpower the tank line a little bit and let the tank line from the Sombras get overrun a couple times by some great nanos here from the Ana that came out from Powered by Bees. But it is going to be the Sombras who advance to the semifinals. They will play the Owls here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Unfortunately, it will not be streamed, and the winner of that match will proceed to the Scrub Cup 7 finals, and that game will be live here on the OW Scrub Cup channel at approximately 9 p.m. or possibly later, just depending on when Overwatch League goes off the air. But that's going to do it for us here today. So it is a victory for the Sombras. They win 3-0 over Powered by Bees. For Pulse, I'm Hodo. Thanks so much for joining us today. Join us again tomorrow for the finals of the Scrub Cup, whoever it may be. But for everyone here at the Scrub Cup, we'll see you tomorrow for the finals of Scrub Cup 7.